Greetings, Sangha, and welcome to another episode of Dharma Junkie. As usual, I am your host, Justin Otto, and this time on Dharma Junkie, I've got my friend, artist, writer, and community organizer, Eric St. Pierre. Eric's been really involved in the Earth Day projects in Pensacola for the past 12, 13 years. He was the chairman for a while of the organization and recently stepped down. But that doesn't mean that he's not still putting his energy into several projects. He's one of the few people that I know that's as manic as I am and does as many things per day as I do. And I stay pretty busy. In fact, that's a big complaint from some people in my life is how busy I am. Because it really cuts me short on time for other things. And I don't really put as much energy into certain things as I probably should. And for that, I am sorry, but I'm spread pretty thin, and I feel like I'm making up for lost time in a way. So to those people, I do apologize. Know that I love you, and I love all of you. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the show because it's pretty off the wall. We talk about a lot of shit. I mean, it's all over the place. So just buckle up and enjoy. Without further ado, Eric St. Pierre.
You might catch yourself sliding in and out of a hallucinatory state. Just relax and enjoy it. Just relax and enjoy it.
This is an experiment in mind formation. Information. Forming, controlling, operating your mind and your brain. Using digital techniques to overload, scramble, confuse, unfocus your mind. The natural state of the brain is chaos. Chaos is beautiful.
Eric St. Pierre, what's up, dude?
Oh, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. What the fuck you been up to?
Ooh, how far back do you want me to go?
Well, let's see. Last time I really saw you, other than the other day when we went to jitsu, which I appreciate, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you came.
Last time I saw you, other than that, was when we went to Tool in New Orleans. So
yeah,
what's the update from there? I guess
I to go along with this episode, I've got a great picture of us from that show. We might want to pop that on there. Yeah, I had this insane. Looks like I'm tripping on acid, which I wasn't. Look on my face, and as do you, and we're obviously having a really good time, and great experience and all that.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I haven't seen that picture yet. Yeah, that was a really good show, man. I'm so glad we fucking were able to go to that before all this craziness.
Yeah, that was the last show that I went to was Tool with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to like one little small venue show, like at the Music Box in Mobile. Mm-hmm. I think that was like March 15th, like right before everything shut down, because I'm pretty sure everything just shut down on, I think it was St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th.
Oh wow, yeah. That's the main thing that I miss about all this is live music. Well, live anything, live music, live comedy. Like I had my girlfriend and we had tickets to go see Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle. I was going to go to that show too
in April.
Yep,
and then it got moved to September, and then it just got canceled completely.
Straight up canceled. So,
seems like a lost opportunity there. That was going to be such a good show.
I know, man. Two of the greats.
Yeah, I was super stoked to go. But it is what it is. But so. What's been up since Tool?
I just about everybody else, I had a forced vacation, a couple months, and I was able to create a lot. So I created within those couple months more than I had in any given year since I started making art. So that was a really good experience.
Are you talking about your visual art?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I wrote a lot too. I wrote a short story, started another short story. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been seeing your visual art you've been posting online. That one you did of Bourdain's really good.
Yeah, that's hanging in Artel right now.
Oh yeah,
on Palafox. Yeah,
nice, awesome.
Yeah. So one thing about the initial quarantine is that I saw a lot of people really like, okay, well, I don't have to go to work now, so let's get creative. And you're one of them. I mean, you started this podcast during that
sure.
time, and I was like, dude, heck yeah, Justin, and that's great. I mean, so many people talk about doing this,
right?
And here you are doing it.
Well, I mean, I had been wanting to do it for a while. Like, I got the idea to do it back, like, right after I got clean. It was probably April of 2019 when I had the idea that I wanted to do it. And I just was one of those things, I just didn't have, like, all my ducks in a row to be able to do it until I had the time, really. The time and the money. I fortunately had a little bit of money saved up, and this is before the stimulus check or any of that. But I was like, you know what? I'm just like, I'm gonna have all this time on my hands right now. I'm gonna use it wisely.
Yeah.
And so I just went with the flow of things and just did it, man.
Yeah, that's great. And so you've passed the. You were telling me yesterday, most people don't get past their seventh.
I think it's
show.
like 93% of podcasts don't go past episode 7. Some statistic I read somewhere. I don't know the accuracy of it or not. You'd have to fact check that, which I absolutely have not. But
right.
But that's what I've heard. So if that's the case, then
congratulations, you're in the 7%.
Yeah, I'm in the top 7% of podcasts. Maybe one day I'll actually be in some sort of percentage rate of podcasts. I'm sure I'm definitely in there. I mean, statistically, I have to be somewhere. But
right.
It's probably towards the bottom. Yeah. But it's a long-term thing. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, nothing happens overnight, especially with this. You know, like you got to have content built up. You got to have, you know, especially in most of the like popular podcasts anyway, these are people that already had some modicum of notoriety, you know? So like when you say Joe Rogan experience, like Joe Rogan was the host of Fear Factory. He was in news radio. He was a stand-up comic. Like he's done, so people are automatically going to gravitate towards people they've heard of, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So there's
comedians,
right,
musicians.
Exactly. Ari Shaffir has his podcast, Duncan Trussell, you know,
Tom Segura,
like all those. Yeah. Everybody has a podcast now. Bill Burr.
Yeah. Theo Vaughn. He's like my favorite. So.
Oh, his was it, this past weekend?
Yes, he's so surreal, man. He just goes off the cuff and
he's
his
a
stream
guy.
Of consciousness is just out of this world, man. And he's a Southern boy.
I've sent him some messages on Twitter. I haven't gotten a response yet.
Yeah. He's moving to Nashville.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
it's a little closer. Yeah.
That's funny. The meditation teacher I've been working with and the Buddhist study series thing that I've been doing lately is based out of Nashville. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. They've got a pretty good little Buddhist community going up there. So that's kind of neat. We got a good Sangha up there. It's kind of I'm trying to put something like that together in Pensacola. I really want to put something together, like people who are really dedicated to studying the Dharma.
So I know that there is and man, I'm really showing my ignorance here, but I know that there's a group who get together and they say they're Buddhists, which, you know, I don't know. There are different types of Buddhism, right? Yeah. Right. They say they're Buddhists and they get together and they chant. Okay. And so is that something you're familiar with?
I always thought that the mantra thing was more like chanting mantras was more of a Hindu thing, as far as my understanding. I'm sure there is some of that in various sects of Buddhism, especially when you get those crossovers, because, you know, the thing about Buddhism is like it adapts to wherever it lands at. You know what I'm saying? So like it kind of takes in whatever the local religion already is.
Right. Those old folk religions.
Right. It adapts around those. You know what I'm saying? It kind of symbioses with the original religion in the area.
Right.
So, you know, when you say you've got Buddhists in a more Hindu, like Hindu heavy area of India, then, you know, they're gonna probably take on some of those Hindu aspects.
That makes sense. So you as long as you keep the noble truths,
right?
And
that's is the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path is.
Yeah.
As long as you do that, you're still Buddhist. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right on. Yeah, my experience with Buddhism is limited. I mean, I really vibe and connect to the idea that it's our attachments that cause the suffering.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the cause of suffering is attachment, and that's the Four Noble Truths right there. It's like the cause of suffering. That life is suffering. The cause of suffering is attachment, and so on. The way to cease the suffering is following the Eightfold Path.
The to live is to suffer. It sounds like some poetry I wrote when I was like 14 years old. No offense to Buddha or Siddhartha.
I think he was a little older than 14, but the sentiment was there. I think they were the wealthy landowner family. So, and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And there was
he had a little angst in him.
There was actually like at the time, there was like a big spiritual counterculture. Like there was a lot of people breaking away, like kind of like the movement in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Like there was a big spiritual counterculture, and there was a lot of people breaking away from like high ranking families and going off and living like lives of ascetics and things like that to seek a spiritual path. So it's kind of weird. There was like this huge shift at the same time, and he just happened to be one of those people. He just happened to be the one. You know what I'm saying?
So you said landowner. He was a prince, right? Or is that just one of the stories?
It's originally it was said that he was a prince. It's more than likely that his family were just like rich landowners. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't necessarily royalty. He was more like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but just rich landowners. You know what I'm saying? They were just.
I think they call that bougie now. Is that
right,
the word?
The bourgeoisie. He was a member of the bourgeoisie. If we were going into Marxist terms,
no, please don't.
We're not going to talk about communism.
I apologize. Yeah. So I'm really excited to be here, and this is just really neat to do. But I'll tell you, like I was telling you earlier, this is my second day of a complete fast. I mean, I've been drinking water and had some juice and everything like that, and man, my energy level is through the roof. But I'm coming to a realization that maybe my bandwidth is so like anemic right now that I can't
like you're not firing on
it's like we were just having the best conversation, and here I am with the microphone in front of me. I'm like, bougie.
It happens. But you said your energy levels are pretty good. But like, you were saying like you went to jiu-jitsu earlier though, and like your physical energy was not so good.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. So, and so you went to a class, you know, the whole setup, and so at the end we're rolling, and I just, you know, I thought I was going to die. And I mean, and the guy I rolled against, I mean, he's a great guy, but he's not as experienced as me, and I'm stronger. And usually when we roll, I have the upper hand, and he just completely destroyed me. And
it's so easy to let that happen in there too. Like it's like one little wrong move, and you're like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I told the guy afterwards, I was like, either you got better or I got worse, or maybe both. I don't know.
Yes, the stars aligned somehow. I'm not sure how it happened, but
the thing with jiu-jitsu, it's like you there is no like better or worse. Like you can't like graph it like that. You know, like today,
there's no metric for that.
Exactly, man. It's so individual, and you know, like, you might tap 20 dudes yesterday, and today you're useless with or without being on a fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a strange art. Like it's such a, it's like just a big puzzle.
Yes.
And like that's what I find so fascinating about it is it is like a puzzle. It's like trying to put together a puzzle.
It is. Yeah. So not only is the puzzle aspect of it, which is the intellectual aspect of it, which keeps your brain firing, you also have to worry about surviving. Right. And you have to it's a physical puzzle as well as a mental puzzle. There's just nothing else like it.
Yeah. It was intense, man. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to figure out when I can like fit it into my schedule because I've just got so much going on already. But I was looking, and they've got some morning classes downtown that are before I go to work actually. So I may just start getting up early and going down there.
That'd be great, man.
And hitting that up, and then going to work, and then leaving work and going to the gym, and then
yeah, you might motivate me to come to some morning classes because I don't do the morning classes. I'll do morning yoga because that's just a different thing altogether. I don't have to fight people.
Yeah, for sure.
Just fight myself. Yeah, like I would
say. I think fighting people first thing in the morning would set a good tone for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like once you've rolled and been choked a few times early in the morning, like what else is gonna like fuck with you?
Right. It's almost like I've got a 16-year-old kid, and he does a little boxing and some and jiu-jitsu as well. And then I always used to tell him, I was like, son, once you're not afraid of getting punched in the face, you're good to go. You can pretty much do anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's a certain amount of freedom involved in that. Just knowing that you, like, it's going to hurt for a second, but it's not going to kill you.
Right. Exactly. That's life, man. It's going to, well, I mean, it will kill you eventually. Life will kill you.
Life is a sexually transmitted terminal disease.
This is true, dude. You got me drinking coffee after 2:00, man. This doesn't happen. This just
coming to the dark side.
Yeah.
It's man, like I said, I do so much shit. Like I feel it like almost necessary for that mid-afternoon boost, because I'll still be up till probably 11 or 12 o'clock tonight reading or writing or working on this podcast or doing something, and then I be back up at like 5:30 in the morning to meditate and get my coffee ready, get a shower, stretch for a little bit, just get ready to go to work. Like I said, I really want to start fitting something in the morning. I'm either going to start going to the gym in the morning or jujitsu in the morning. I'm not sure which one.
Just switch it out.
Yeah.
And they don't offer morning classes every day. Just
right.
So
yeah. But no, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that shit. I haven't done anything like that physical in a while. I mean, I go to the gym like every day, but like, we were talking about the other night, man, there's a different type of strong, you know what I'm saying? There's a different type of like the muscles that you use when you're rolling with somebody are just like those stabilizer muscles that you never hit doing anything else. Like, unless you're just in the moment like that, you're not going to use those muscles.
Yeah.
I felt it the next day for sure.
Oh yeah. There's being strong. Then there's like jujitsu fit too. Like, not that one's better than the other one, but like it's just a different type of workout altogether.
I think if you can combine the two, that's when, you're definitely going to be at your best. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I try to do. Yeah.
I think that's what we try to do with everything. I think I would like to think that that's what people try to do with everything, but that's not the case. I think it takes and I think it's different for everybody, but I think it takes something to like wake you up and be like, whoa, I could really be doing a lot better than I am, and like really get the motivation to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so and that kind of goes against. There's a paradox that I sort of live, and that's like I expect the best, or I assume the best for people. I assume the best with their intentions and everything. Right. I'm proven wrong over and over again. Yeah. But I have to continue to assume the best about people and their intentions, because I don't want to live in a way that someone would live if they assume the worst about people. I've seen those people. Right. They age faster. They get sick more often. It deteriorates the soul. Yeah, it does. And like one thing I've been having to work on lately, and I was actually talking to my meditation teacher, Mikey, about this yesterday, is I've had some recent cancellations and stuff, and like just it really kind of bothers me when people don't like let me know that they're not going to be able to do something, whether it be a podcast or anything. Like if you say you're going to do something, like do it. You know what I'm saying? Like be true to your word. Yes. I listen to a lot of Wu-Tang, and word is bond, man. But like I'm not sure why it bothers me so bad. And I was talking to him, and I think it really goes back to like my childhood and like insecure attachment and like abandonment issues that I have from my childhood. And it's like almost like feeling like abandoned again. So I have these trust issues where like I want to be able to trust people, but people repeatedly put me in a position where like where my trust is tested with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do I trust people? Like, cause I want to, but like, and I do to a certain extent, but I always, if it's one of those things where I can do it myself, like I'm probably going to do it myself rather than ask somebody to do it for me, because I know if I do it myself, it's going to get done. Unfortunately, like podcast interviews and things like that. Yeah, you just can't talk to yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's your bonus Patreon content.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that too. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to start doing that. Just some sort of horrible ramble.
Well, what do they say? You let people show you who they are. Right. So everybody, and to me, like everybody, just sort of. When I'm living my day-to-day life and I come into contact with people, they start off with the base level of trust, and then it goes up and down from there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you start with this baseline, and I mean, that's anything. That's, your trust with people. That's your own happiness. Like you're born with this baseline happiness, and it goes up and down from there. You know, nobody's born fucking sad.
Right. And
it's the traumas of life that.
Yeah, and I also think it's
because life is suffering.
It might be. So there you go again. All right, which is funny, that whole life is suffering poetry of a 14-year-old, because a buddy, a dear friend of mine, found a bunch of like 6 notebooks full of my old poetry and drawings and stuff, and he brought it to me yesterday, and so I just cringed out for a good hour last night. It was awesome. Fantastic. Probably going to publish some of them too.
Oh, you sure you should. Yeah. Put that up on the Patreon page.
Oh yeah.
So you got any more art coming? Like, are you working on anything? Like,
I've got a bunch of I've got 4 or 5
like in the works.
Yeah, but they're all paid stuff. Like so doing portraits.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. Nice. When did you start doing that?
Well,
like branching out from original work.
Yeah, well, I've taken commissions throughout the years, but just here recently, since I've been putting out so much, more people have been showing interest. So I'm getting more hits right now of people wanting to. I'm still going to do it in my style. I'm not going to.
Right. I love the style you do. The mixed media.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you.
It's super neat.
Yeah, the one thing I like to do is that I like to personalize it. So if somebody wants me to do the mixed media style of their portrait, I want them to give me a book that they love, or a speech they love, or something like that, and then I'll take the words from that, and then a lot of people are not going to like this, but I'll like tear pages out of books and use them to create the art.
Hey man,
yeah,
it's art to make art.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. You want a mixed media piece of art, you gotta rip up a few fucking books. At least you're not burning them.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll happen after the election.
Yeah, that's that's my next project.
Burning books?
Yeah, it's just it's an installation. It's Dadaism. It's just installation. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to burn any fucking books.
Do you write in your margins?
I have before. It's been a while since I did, but I have before.
You don't make scrupulous notes in the margins of your books?
Okay, so when I was
I don't know what to think about people that don't write in their books.
But I do sometimes. It's just been a while. So
people are like, "Why are you writing in the book?" Because it's fucking my book, and I'm making notes.
Yeah, exactly. So I had this when I was a new dad. I told you I have a 16-year-old son, and around that time I was reading a lot of philosophy and political. Opinion pieces and stuff like that, and sociology books. And I was like, I'm going to write my notes in the margins so that when my son one day reads these books, he can know what his father was thinking. Like, I don't know where any of those books are.
It's probably a horrible idea anyway.
Yeah, it really is.
Really, do you even want to know what you were thinking at that point in your life?
I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that part of your life's gone. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
All that matters is right now. It's all happening right now.
That's right. You were saying that about being born with a certain level of happiness, or I mean, obviously when you're born it's just like chaos, and I'm not sure if I agree with the what is it, tabula rasa, the blank slate theory, but I think it's sort of it is wrong-headed, or at least misguided, to see happiness as this really good thing and sadness is this really bad thing.
I think you're dead on with that.
Yeah. I think they're equally important, and I don't think that the meaning of life is to be happy. I think it's to be a human being, which includes sadness.
It's to find meaning. The meaning of life is to find a meaning with life.
Yeah.
And you can't have happiness without sadness, without the polarity. One can't exist without the other. Mm-hmm. That's the yin and the yang of it. If you've never eaten shit, if you never smelled what shit smelled like, you wouldn't know the lavender smelled good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, legitimately, like, you have to have that. If you've never been sad, you're not going to know what happy feels like. And that's the whole thing, is like just coming to terms with that. Like, there are no good or bad experiences. There's just experiences, and it's the way you deal with those experiences that matters.
That's right.
That's the bottom line of it. It's the way you process the experience, the way you handle it, and the way you traverse it and move forward.
Yeah. So it's like, basically, life is meaningless until you give it meaning. And then
exactly,
or even if there is some innate meaning to it, then isn't it kind of the same thing?
You don't even necessarily have to give it meaning. I don't think. I think the meaning exists. You just have to be mindful enough to notice what the meaning is. So many people spend their life just running around and I'm guilty of it. Trying to accomplish all this shit and do all this stuff. And thank God I fucking meditate, because if I didn't, I wouldn't slow down and I'd never be able to just sit and enjoy the experience. But it's, doing all this shit is the experience, like I make meaning out of my life. I could sit and drink every night and do nothing and just hang out and watch TV. I'm not okay with that though. That's not what I want out of my life. Those are things I don't allow in my life anymore. I don't, I want more out of my life, and there's so much to life. Why wouldn't I want to experience it?
Oh, agreed. And why do some people have that epiphany and then do something with it while others never do? What is the difference? Because you can take brothers who from same DNA, same environment, same crappy parents or good parents, whatever, and then one can grow up to be a douchebag, and the other one can grow up to be self-actualized or someone who's inward looking. For sure,
and especially if there's brothers involved, one of them is going to be a douchebag. One of them's probably going to be cool, and the other one's going to be the polar opposite and just be a total douchebag. And then when you get three of them, they're like, who knows what goes on in that mix.
So this goes out to my brother Kyle. If you're listening to this, I do not necessarily.
We're not talking about you now.
I do not necessarily agree with what Justin just said, but he's a smart guy, so I don't know. Maybe think about it.
Yowza. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. What is it? What is it that makes it click in some people?
Oh, I don't know. That's why I was asking. I've been thinking about that question for a long time, and I have no answers. I haven't gotten any closer to figuring it out.
I think it's just an innate. I don't know. It's that whole hero's journey thing. Mm-hmm. Like you have to realize that there is more, and then you have to want more. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it takes a certain amount of valuing yourself, and I think if you don't value yourself, like if you don't really truly love yourself, you're not going to want the best for yourself.
Sure, and that's all. Those are definitely part of it, but there still has to be something further back. Like, okay, well, you have to value yourself. So, what do you need in order to realize that you need to value yourself? See, it's like you can go back and back and back.
I think that can be that's a wide variable. Mm-hmm. I think it's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. For me, it took fucking getting strung out on heroin for several years, and then like being like, you know what, I fucking deserve.
So you're endorsing
heroin use? Yeah, absolutely not. I'm endorsing.
I mean, look what it did for you.
I'm endorsing recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, life's going to be filled with challenges. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think it's challenges, and it's the way you deal with them. A lot of people like to use drugs or alcohol to like put I like to say, put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Yeah. But it's a lot harder to just sit in it and like just face the problem sober and deal with it head on. But that's how you get through it. And that's how you traverse it, and that's how you grow as a person.
Sitting with it, that is the key concept for me. That's why, back to jiu-jitsu, like I like doing things that are difficult, that I'm not any good at, and that cause uncomfort, like even fasting too. Mm-hmm. So I'm, I fast for a lot of reasons, but to remind myself that like it's okay to be hungry.
No, yeah.
Like it's okay. Like this is just flesh.
That's
like,
that's a valuable
I'm observing
feeling.
My hunger right now. I'm not hungry. I'm observing, and I know that might be semantics, but it helps me.
It's not semantics. It's absolutely true. I mean, you are observing. All you're observing is your spacesuit running out of fuel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. But fasting is great to really put you in touch with yourself. It like lets you know you're alive in a strange way. Yeah. I try to fast at least once a month, for a day or two, or I've fasted for a couple of weeks before, just a water fast for a couple of weeks just to see if I fucking could. Wow. Just to test my wherewithal. Mm-hmm. I've only done it a couple of times, but I know I can do it.
Yeah, I don't do the water fast. I still, I'll drink coffee and a little juice or something like that. But,
right. I was doing water with a little bit of salt in it for the electrolytes.
Yeah. You got to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
pass out.
Not insane. I mean, I am, but I'm not trying to die.
A different way.
Yeah.
So meditation, I'd like to talk a little bit about that.
For sure.
So I went through a period of in my life when I was very into meditation, not necessarily Buddhist meditation or this, that, and the other. But
I think meditation is just meditation.
Yeah, sure. I agree. And I got really into Ram Dass, and so I lived in this neighborhood that had this pond, and I would wake up every morning early, sunrise, and go sit at this pond and meditate. First couple times I did that, like these turtles would come out and approach me, come out from the water and, do a little turtle walk over to me. And then, of course I'm just like, oh my gosh, they know I'm meditating. I'm connected. Like, no, they want bread. There used to be people coming to the pond and feeding them, and they come up to me and like, why is this human just sitting there? Doesn't he see us? And I got a good that's
why
probably
isn't he fucking feeding us, this fucking asshole?
That's probably the best meditation experience I've ever had. It's just that realization.
See, but you noticed it. You noticed it. You were mindful enough to notice what was really going on. You were like, oh, okay, I see what's really going on.
Yeah.
Do you still do any kind of meditation?
Not as a practice, but I'd like to think that I sort of do a walking meditation. I try to be mindful day to day and breathe. And
do you do a walking meditation, and are you mindful, or do you like to think that?
I like to think that.
Okay.
Yeah. I see that look in your eyes.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Because, I mean, shit, I slack on my practice sometimes. But lately, not so much. Lately, it's been a daily thing for like a few months now. Like I sit for at least 30 minutes a day.
Oof.
Yeah.
Even at my height or peak rather of practicing, I was not at 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh no, sometimes I hit like an hour or two.
Bro, that is impressive.
I know people that were doing like 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems excessive.
Yeah. I mean,
but if that's what worked for them, then that's what worked for them.
Right.
And if they have the time and the capacity to do so, then more power to them. I wish I could. I wish I had the time to just be able to sit for 6 hours a day.
Time is a funny thing like that. You and I were talking the other day about how we both have come to the point in our life where we understand that we need to segment our days and really purposefully use our time in order to use our mania to our advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. If I didn't, I'd fucking be off the walls and doing crazy shit.
Right.
But yeah, I can either let my mania propel me forward or destroy me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going down without a fight, so.
No, never. That's I didn't fucking beat cancer and heroin addiction to let my own mania destroy me.
It's cancer. I didn't know that.
You didn't know I had cancer?
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, no, I had leukemia when I was 13.
What, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at you now. You're all jacked and everything. Like aren't you supposed to be like all pale and
all sickly and dead? I've got some pictures somewhere of me when I was sick. I look like a fucking corpse, bro.
That's crazy.
It is fucking. That shit makes me cry every time I see it. I'm like, God damn, was I really that fucking sick? And the answer is yes. Yes, I was.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you were using, I was around you a little bit when you hear that fly.
Unfortunately, yeah. See, I was watching it fly around.
We have a third guest. Everybody is Mr.
Yeah, if you hear a fly, there's nothing that can be done at this point.
Yeah. Ambiance. You were pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad off.
Yeah, man, you were sickly and
pretty miserable.
Yeah. Not a happy guy.
Nah,
not the guy I see now. It's whatever you did works, man.
Hey, man,
it's incredible.
Yeah. It's why I like talking about it, because it did work. It worked for me. If it could work for me, and like you were saying, I was pretty fucking bad off. You saw me when I was just about at my worst. Mm-hmm. I was knocking on death's door at that point, and
I saw you sick. You were sick.
Yeah. I was real sick. Happy to be on the other side of that, but like I said, man, I just decided that I wanted better for myself. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't have to live this way, and it was like, if I get clean this time, I never have to feel this way again. You know what I'm saying? The only way the only way I will ever feel this way again is by putting myself in the situation to feel that way. And that just wasn't an option for me anymore, and still isn't. And it's cool to be able to say I don't even think about the shit anymore. Like there's not a day that goes by where I'm like, ooh, I want to get high. Like it doesn't come up. I was actually talking with another friend of mine who's also got about 2 years clean earlier, and same thing. He's like, I just don't even fucking think about it. Just not.
That's just so it's not like quitting cigarettes where you kind of always have that craving. It's just not. It's not the same.
No, not at all. Not at all. Once you're past it, man, like, because if you quit cigarettes, you're going to be irritable for a week or so. You're going to be a dick, but like, you're not going to be fucking laid up in the goddamn couch, fucking sweating your ass off, throwing up, shaking, convulsing, and fucking
the worst flu you ever
can't
had.
Sleep. Like I didn't sleep for like when I got clean, when I went to rehab, I didn't sleep for like almost a month.
Bro,
I'd sleep for like maybe an hour a night, and that's all all my body would let me do because it was so used to having the opiates that like it was like, nah, this ain't happening. Dude, when I finally first started sleeping when I was at rehab, I felt like I had fucking climbed a mountain, man. Just being able to sleep a full night was such a big fucking hurdle at that point. Dude, it was like life changing. And while I was there, I started eating, started trying to eat more, gain a little weight because I was down to like 135 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm like 170 right now. You know what I'm saying? I've literally gained like 35 pounds since I got clean.
How long has it been now?
I went to rehab on December 27th, 2018. So coming up on 2 years in December.
Nice.
About a year and a half. So anyway, happy to not be a fucking heroin addict anymore because that shit sucked balls.
What do you think of the romanticizing of heroin usage? You've got Kurt Cobain, you've got Jimi Hendrix, all the
William Burroughs,
all the beat poets and all that stuff.
I mean, I think it's inevitable. I think anything taboo is going to be romanticized.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to take away the romanticization of it. I stumbled on my words here a little bit. Anyway, if you want to take that away, you're going to have to like take away the tabooness of it and open up like actual dialogue about it and talk about it, which is why I try to talk about like psychedelics and shit on this podcast because I don't think it's something that should be taboo. I think it's
medicine.
It's medicine. It's a direct pathway to a spiritual, mystical experience, and it's never been anything but beneficial for. Psilocybin's the safest drug you can do.
Yes.
I mean, across the board, look at the David Nutt harm index. It's the safest thing you can do. The worst thing you can do, fucking alcohol. Absolutely. I mean, and it's the most readily available, cheaper than water in a lot of cases. And, it's just shoved down our throats.
Cheaper than water. That I've never thought of it that way. That's sad.
Yeah. I mean, you can go get a beer. Remember when the 99-cent Ice House?
Oh yeah.
Was there?
Oh yeah.
Now you could get an Aquafina for $1.29, or you could get a 22-ounce Ice House for 99 cents.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute, doesn't it take water to make this shit? There's something wrong here. Like there's something more at play here. And I get people like to drink, because people like an escape. That's what it is.
Yeah.
People aren't happy. Or it's not even not happy. Like it's fucked up because alcohol is one of those things that's used in every situation. Had a bad day, have a drink. Had a good day, have a drink.
Yeah.
Bored, have a drink.
Yeah, I mean, I drink, and I probably drink more than I should. I try to and often succeed in limiting it to weekends.
Right.
And I enjoy the taste of a good IPA.
Right.
I enjoy of a good neat whiskey.
Absolutely.
But it's incredibly habit forming, and so even if I'm not physically addicted to it, like the first thing I do on a Friday night is go to the fridge and crack open a beer. I don't even think about it. It's just what happens.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anything, even if it's something that's not harmful, like alcohol can be. anything that you just do mindlessly like that, you've got to step back and say, okay, why is this happening? What?
I don't have any habits like that.
As he hits his vape pen.
It's nicotine, by the way.
Yeah, at least it's not cigarettes.
It's not cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
That I've been real good about that lately. Been real good about that.
That's good.
I've been trying to be real good about that. I've slipped up one time since Saturday, but that's one time. So
yeah.
And it's just a mind over matter thing, just like overcoming any kind of addiction, whether it be, opiate addiction or nicotine addiction. The nicotine's actually harder to quit than the opiates were.
Wow.
Because I feel like there's not as much of a direct impact on my life with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It doesn't it's not
ruining
it's not completely
relationship.
devastating my fucking life. You know what I'm saying? It's my parents aren't not talking to me because I smoked cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not going to jail for having a pack of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that, but ultimately it'll fucking kill you. Right. And people like to use that excuse. Well, we got to die or something. Like, yeah, but you want to make it any fucking, it doesn't have to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. You can pump the brakes a little bit. And it took me being with the girl that I'm with to realize that maybe I should fucking quit smoking. Like, I've been a smoker for 24 years. It's like, time to put it down, man. Yeah. Like, I'm not getting any younger. My dad died at 50 of fucking heart disease and bullshit. He had diabetes and heart disease, but he didn't take care of himself. He ate garbage, like fried food every night. He drank Cokes all day and shit and smoked 2 packs of fucking Doral menthol 100s a day. Like, of course he was gone as fucking, he wasn't going to make it. So like, I try to go to the gym. I try to eat well. And like the last piece of that puzzle is quitting the cigarettes. So you had to go, man.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't allow it in my life anymore.
Yeah.
Just like I tried not to, and I've had my slip ups with alcohol recently within the past few weeks. I got drunk out at the beach one time, 3 weeks ago and lost my wallet and had a complete fucking meltdown about it. It was ugly, but I try to, just be mindful of that and not drink. And
well, there comes a time, and I'm sort of experiencing this now, where it's not fun anymore.
It's not fun.
There's no.
I don't enjoy the feeling at all.
Yeah.
Like, even after that first drink, you get that little kind of swimmy feeling in your head. That feels like shit. I don't think I'm there
yet, but it's
it's fucking Pandora's
drinking
box
all day, drinking all day, and then your stomach hurts. You feel like shit the next day. It's like, what? That's not fun. But it's so, like you said, it's everything involves alcohol. If you're going to a gathering, you're drinking. If you're staying at home by yourself,
it's the way our culture is designed.
Wine with dinner, whatever it is, it's just alcohol.
That's the way it's been for thousands of years. Look at ancient Greece and ancient Rome. There's alcohol everywhere. It's the way it's always been. I guess it's because it's so easy to make.
Yeah. Well, mushrooms are easy to grow. Why did we go that route? Because I
don't know.
So
we could go many ways with this conversation. Like, is it a control thing? Is it because alcohol definitely, they say, oh, alcohol, people who are like new agey, they're like, oh, alcohol lowers your vibration, which
sure.
Which I agree with, I don't know if necessarily
terminology.
I don't know if we mean the same thing by that, but it definitely makes you not as vibrant of a person. You know what I mean? If you're drinking all the time, you're not going to be your best self. You're not going to get out there and fucking go to jiu-jitsu.
But I'm a fun drunk, man. I'm a fun drunk.
I'm not. I'm a fucking asshole. I'm a fucking dick. I'll fight you in the Waffle House parking lot. I can't drink. That shit is poison to me. So I don't,
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we were talking about, we were going to talk about psychedelics, and we got off on a tangent, or I did. But yeah,
why we went the alcohol way instead of
well before that, I was going to bring up the fact that I've used psychedelics in points in my life where therapy wasn't doing it. Where mood altering prescription drugs weren't doing it,
right?
And I would take one macro dose and wake up the next day feeling like
$1 billion.
Yeah, just like oh, this weight is just gone. Almost like it was never there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't have to carry around all that trauma. It's just, I just don't understand it.
It's like McKenna said. It's like 10 years of psychotherapy in, like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, especially with those macro doses. I know a lot of people that microdose, and I guess I can see the benefit of that, especially like if you're in a job where you want to like reach a flow state kind of thing.
Yes.
I experimented with microdosing LSD for a while when I was working at a particular place, and it did make me better at my job. I got in that flow state where I was just, everything was just like spot on. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just nailing it, just perfect. And I was good mood. I was happy. I was laughing at shit. I was, just in a good mood and just kicking ass. You know what I'm saying? But, so I think there's benefit with microdosing for things like that. As far as like, if you're looking for like depression relief or anything like that, you're trying to get over some sort of anxiety issues or thing. I think that the only real way to attain that is with macrodosing.
Now, I have been told by people who microdose that it's good at, so it's alleviating depression or getting through anything like that it's not good for it, but it is good for grounding you. But grounding doesn't mean you're at peace. Right. Grounding just means that you're able to sit with it. Right. Whatever it is, easier than not being grounded. And yeah, the flow aspect of it, I have been told, is true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've noticed that myself when I did do it. It's been a while, but my crazy days is over. Sobriety's a bitch. Mm-hmm. That's why I drink all this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, man. I was like, oh, you mean that? Completely sober here.
Well, I mean, fucking anything's a drug. I've got DMT that made in my body. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like we're all holding.
Who said that? Was that
McKenna?
McKenna again.
Yeah. That guy was full of wisdom, man. I love Terrence McKenna. I'll sit and just listen to it. He's just got that voice too. It's just like so mesmerizing. A lot of the shit he says, feels like he can put you in a psychedelic state just by talking. It's pretty interesting. I listen to a lot of him. I listen to a lot of like Alan Watts. Really enjoy Alan Watts a lot. Yeah. And there's just so much Alan Watts out there. It's amazing, especially for the time frame that he was active and alive and speaking, that it's amazing how much content there is of his out there. Like how many lectures there are of Alan. There's just countless hours on YouTube, like just endless hours.
Yeah, it's sort of like how bands used to come out with an album every 6 months.
Oh, what happened to that?
It's like
you got fucking Tool, 13 fucking years.
Jeez, man, don't get me started. Oh, but they're thinking about putting out an EP.
They should.
Which, I mean, another 10 years down the road. Okay.
It'll take 10 years just to decide whether they're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe since they there's no touring and shit right now, maybe they'll be more compelled to put something out. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that don't like Tool. I love those people. They're my favorite people.
Yeah,
I'm like, why don't you like that band?
Well, Maynard even said that, and I agree with him.
Tool fans are obnoxious as fuck.
Tool fans are insufferable.
Yeah, they're obnoxious as fuck. They're horrible. Yeah. I remember those, like, I've always been a Tool fan, but not like that Tool fan, you know? Like, I really enjoy their music, but I'm not like, dude, oh man, you gotta pump your brakes. Yeah. But I mean, they're not wrong. They're just obnoxious. Every Tool fan that's ever said anything good about Tool has been right, but they're just fucking obnoxious. Yeah. Y'all got to calm down. They're like juggalos.
And it's like the whole like. Tool's not the only.
They're like prog rock juggalos.
Yeah, but Tool's not the only awesome band in the world, and most of the fans like no. There's just one. There's only one.
Well, fuck. When I was 12, I thought Metallica was the best band in the world. But of course, I was 12, and it was like 1990.
Dude, and Justice for All is a fantastic album.
That's one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life, despite the fact that there's no bass in it.
Exactly.
But like, if we're talking about just pure like instrumentation and composition, and Justice for All is a
great lyrics too.
It's a fucking immaculate album, and the way it comes in, like the way it fades in with that reverse guitar on Blackened, is just like that shit'll change your life. If you've never heard that album and you hear that shit for the first time, you're like, holy shit, that is amazing. Yeah,
grabs your attention real quick,
and it's so mid scooped and like nasally almost. It's like such the way it's EQ'd out is just,
it's harsh.
It's harsh. Was it Fleming Rasmussen, I think, produced that?
Yeah.
That was it, man. Those were good albums. All those like pre-Black Album Metallica albums were so good.
I actually kind of like the Black
It
Album.
was, it was
after,
okay. It was
after that one,
it was like one of their last good albums.
Yeah.
Like, and that was, yeah, it had that Bob Rock feel to it though, and it was like complete. It was a different band. I mean, it was still had its good parts to it. You know, like because what did you have after that? Was it like Load or something?
Yeah,
it was just
or Load and Reload and all that. Well,
now see that album that they just put out. I can't remember the Death Magnetic, I think maybe the one that they Rick Rubin produced. That wasn't bad.
I mean, no, I haven't listened to it. It's
actually not that bad, but it's still not fucking anything like they were. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, it's kind of thrashy, like which they haven't been in a while, so that was enjoyable. But it's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't go out and fucking buy it. I'm gonna fucking steal it off of fucking the internet.
Oh, Lars is gonna come break into your house. I'm talking
to him directly. Lars Ulrich, I'm stealing your album off the internet, just like I've been doing for the past 20 years since the internet was able to do so.
Lars
I've always been stealing your music, but I also come to your concerts. So fuck you, you Danish prick. I hope he hears that.
Get you some street cred, man.
Right.
Lars Ulrich. Listen to your podcast.
Did you see that meme where it's like if girls had a time machine and it's like I'm your granddaughter?
Yeah.
It's like well, if guys had a time machine, Cliff changed seats with Lars.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
I haven't seen that specific one, but I saw like the shooting Stalin one.
Yeah, I love that quote. It's from some video that I can't remember which one it was, but there's a meme floating around for this one too. He's like, this is like the interviewer's asking James, he's like, is Lars the best drummer in the world? And James is like, Lars isn't even the best drummer in Metallica.
I thought that was Ringo Starr that's about. I think are you sure it was Lars?
Well, I've seen
it might be both.
I'm pretty sure it's both. I'm pretty sure that's happened with both of them. But yeah, no, that's definitely a Ringo Starr quote too, or about Ringo. Because yeah, he's a terrible drummer too. We actually share a birthday, Ringo Starr and I. Yeah. So for anybody who is actually wondering when my birthday is, which is absolutely nobody, look up Ringo Starr.
I'm wondering what is your? Well, no. I guess I have to look
up
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr's birthday. I just gave you the Easter egg.
Yeah, but I don't want my phone to think that I'm interested in Ringo Starr. Now I'm gonna it's gonna try to sell me a solo album.
You can look it up on somebody else's phone. You can look it up on mine. If was it gonna just bring up my birthday, I'll be like, oh, that's fact. Shit, man. Yeah, I gotta get back into the fucking. I gotta get back in and roll, man. That shit was fun.
Oh man, yeah. It's I'm kind of.
I'm still waiting on this tattoo to kind of heal up a little bit. Like when we were doing shit, like especially with the
the Ezekiel choke.
Yeah, from behind, like that. Like, I know it was kind of rubbing a little bit on the gi, and I was like, it was a little uncomfortable, but you know,
the closest thing to that is I went in with a sunburn one time. That was stupid, man.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it's fine. I've had it for a few days. It's man. Like I got
horrible
bumps all over my shoulders. I thought I was good, but apparently not.
You were wrong.
I'm really glad you came in. And so
now I got a question. The one you go to over on 9th, is that like is it like they wear gi all the time?
No.
So there is no gi.
There is a no gi on Fridays.
Because I know they do that at the one on Palafox too. They have like the no gi trim, which I think is like probably more like what I want to go to. You know what I'm saying? It's more applicable to like an actual like real life situation.
Right. Actually, the better you are at gi, the better you are at no gi.
That makes sense.
Right, and vice versa. And it's actually I
cross train.
I haven't trained much no gi, so I can't really speak to this. But people who have told me that when you're in a gi, it helps you with your defense, and when you're no gi, it helps you with your offense.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess it's good to do both.
Yeah, some sort of like cross training between the two.
And that's 9th Avenue Jiu-Jitsu here in good old Pensacola. If anyone wants to come, I swear, like I'm in a cult or something.
Right.
You're not the only friend who I've brought to at least one person a week, like for the past few months. Like hey, come on.
I plan on actually sticking with it. So
yeah,
I don't know what the recidivism rate is for Jiu-Jitsu class.
It's not.
It's not high.
Yeah, no.
People get in there, they get choked a few times. They're like, this isn't for me.
Like I thought I wanted to do this until. Yeah.
That's exactly what made me want to do it more. I was like, yes, this is fucking awesome. Like I haven't fucking physical combat in a while. Like this, I don't know. It just makes you feel like a fucking dude. You know what I'm saying? Like in there fucking like doing shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a thing about like to just struggle with somebody physically. Like people don't really even they have an idea of what it feels like. They're like, oh, they watch like UFC, like, oh, why doesn't he just stand up and everything, but like you really don't until you like get in there and do it. Like,
right. See, like I've trained in like striking martial arts before. Me too. But I don't have any like grappling at all. Like this is my first foray into any kind of grappling.
It's different, isn't it?
It's very different. I really enjoy it because it is different. Because most fights are going to end up on the ground anyway. If you're like in a real fight, like it's probably going to end up on the ground at some point. And that's where the fucking fight is won or lost. Let's be realistic. Everybody's watched enough UFC to know. Yeah. If you're up in if you get on the ground, whoever's got the best ground skills is going to win. Yeah, you're not going to strike your way out of a fucking armbar.
And unlike wrestling, which is great too, but the wrestlers, when they get on their back, that's but in jiu-jitsu, you want to be on your back. That's, you have options.
Yeah, that's a prime place to be.
Well, the prime place to be is not in the fight.
Right, it's not in the fight at all.
It's here doing a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's sitting here drinking coffee, like hitting this vape. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you asked me at the beginning of the show, like what I've been up to since February. Well, another venture of mine is I'm doing yoga teacher training. It starts next month, actually. But
where are you doing that through?
It's a place called Uru or URU.
Okay, I'm familiar. Yeah, I go to some meetings there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So that Buddhist group that you're involved in, the Buddhist recovery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I want to start like more of a dedicated like Buddhist group here that's not just for recovery. I mean, that will definitely be encompassed within it, but like more just to study the Dharma and like build community. That's kind of what I want to get going here in Pensacola.
Community building has been something that I've been interested in for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. And life's about connection. Yeah. If you want the meaning of life, that's it, folks. It's connection.
Yes.
It's people. I agree. It's other people.
Yeah, it's just people. And I came into this not wanting to talk too much about the pandemic and all that stuff, but I guess you can't really avoid it. You're talking about community and connection and stuff like this. There's a big psychological problem that we're all experiencing right now, and that's we're talking to people and we're not seeing their face. We can't gather as people, and we talked about like I miss live music and comedy shows and everything. That's part of survival is having other people. I mean, you can say like, oh, they're hermits or whatever, but like how psychologically stable are those people, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're people, man. People, even the happiest people, I think, tend to run in cycles. Like they'll have moments where they want to be isolated, but like this enforced isolation, because you've got to think that like here in Florida we're pretty wide open, but there's a lot of places in the country, and I'm sure still in the world. Like I'm not familiar with what's going on abroad right now as far as the pandemic is concerned, because I just don't pay that much attention to the news because I like being happy, and that shit is a fucking drag. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's designed for. It's designed to instill fear. It's just fear mongering. That's all the media is for, is be scared of this.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that those who make the news, who produce the news, I should say, like, do you think they wake up in the morning saying like, how can I scare people? Or do they wake up in the morning saying like, how can I get clicks? Or
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And our human nature is to pay attention to the things that are scary, or else we die.
Right.
That's it.
Right. That's it. You nailed it. Right. With the second one, that was it. And it's how can I get clicks? How can I sell this product? Right. And the product is just viewing. You know what I'm saying?
And unfortunately, when you get a paycheck from that, it's sort of hard to back up and say like, man, I'm not really doing much good for humanity right now.
Well, it's like being a fucking lobbyist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the exact same thing. It's like what horrible fucking commodity can I sell these people? Oh, cigarettes. Oh, fear. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. And both of them will kill you.
Yeah.
If you let them. It's just what you allow in your life. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of news anymore. I just kind of tune it out. Like I'll kind of flip through I'll get on Reddit and read like world news and stuff like that, and just kind of get a brief idea of okay, that's what's going on, because I don't want to be completely in the dark with what's going on in the world. But like there's just so much. We were talking about this the other day too. There's just so much inundation with media and just with sensory input I think humans aren't designed to live this way. I don't think we're designed to have this much input. I don't think I need to know about every child that gets kidnapped in Singapore. Like, I just don't need to know it. Like, it's too much. It's too much, and people can't handle it, and it starts frying people's fucking brains, man.
Right. So yeah, waking. I used to every morning. I would listen. I've got one of those Google wiretap home devices. The Google Home.
Oh yeah.
And
I've got a Google wiretap device. Oh, it's my phone.
Yeah, same thing, right? So for the longest time, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say, "Okay, tell me the news," and then it would just be a string of these terrible stories to start my day off with, and then I'd look outside and what's that like Bill Hicks joke where he's like, "Oh, there's a war going on, blah 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 blah," and like you look outside, and he's like,
"I don't see anything."
It's like everything's fine. What are you talking about? But you listen to the news, or it doesn't matter if it's left, right, center, whatever. Unless you're just reporting facts, which is who does that anymore?
I was about to show me one news outlet that is just pure news, like actual facts, and has no agenda behind it.
You would think, and going on social media, which I've had to dramatically decrease the amount of time.
I barely get on that shit anymore.
So you listen to that, and you get online, and you would think that everybody is either black or white. I'm not talking about race, but this or that. There's no middle ground. There's no room for nuance. And if you feel this way, you hate this person, or if you feel this way, you want children to die, or it's like, whoa, what is going on?
I don't know, man.
We're all at each other's throats all of a sudden, and then I look around like that's not how people treat each other. It's not from my perspective, and I know that my perspective isn't universal, but Jesus, and
what I've been thinking lately is with this whole like cancel culture thing that's been going on lately. It's like by deplatforming people, and I'm not to say that like everybody, that it's not applicable for some people, because some people just need to shut the fuck up, and like I guess they're just not going to do it unless somebody makes them do it. But I think it's like one of those things where, fuck, man, like you're becoming the exact people you're trying to fight against. It's like when Antifa is using like militant tactics to fight whatever entity, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're supposed to be peacemakers, and then you start using, which I'm not saying that there's not a time for insurrection or violence or anything, because certainly sometimes that's the only fucking route, but 99% of the time there's another way. Yeah. And like when you're supposed to be anti-fascist and you're using fascist tactics, so like you're becoming the exact thing you're fighting against. Yes,
and so that reminds me of something a term I just learned here recently, and it's like a political horseshoe where the extreme left and the extreme right are more like each other than the middle. How a horseshoe, it comes together at both sides, right? And I see that just like what you're saying, like you're anti-fascist, but you're using fascist tactics to get your point across.
Right, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Right,
I guess it's easy to lose your way. Especially when you are taking on such lofty goals as,
and there's plenty
Black
of
Lives Matter and Antifa and organizations of that nature. You're trying to change the world, but
and there are great people who are doing it. They're not. Yeah,
there's good and bad people in every organization. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
The 10% rule, man. 10% of us are assholes, and that's just so anywhere you go,
Yeah, exactly. There's always there's always going to be an asshole in the room, the biggest asshole, and there's always going to be the stupidest person in the room and the smartest person in the room. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably on the other end of the scale.
Yeah, you're probably not. Exactly. Yeah. So that kind of reminds me of what I was thinking when you asked me to be on the podcast. I'm like, why? like I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm curious, I'm a curious person, but like I was saying earlier, fasting or not, like my bandwidth is so anemic. It's like I absorb like a hundredth of what I take in. Like for example, I'm reading Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, and I have to read I'm not an illiterate person. Right. I love books, but I have to read a sentence like 5 times to make sure.
Well, you're fucking depriving yourself of nutrients. Your brain's going, fucking help me. That guy meant business.
You gonna edit that?
I don't know if there's any way to edit that. We'll leave that in.
Because we were still talking.
That guy was serious about something. He was in a hurry.
Yeah.
Gonna meet that meth dealer. I live in a seedy neighborhood, just so everyone knows. I'm not gonna divulge which one it is, but it's on the west side.
What is that supposed to mean, Justin? Why would one be?
It means that the west side of Pensacola is classically a lower socioeconomic area.
Yeah, I too have lived on the west side.
So, rent's a little cheaper, which brings in, people who can't afford higher rents.
Yeah.
So
And when people can't afford higher rents, maybe you get a little desperate and yeah.
I mean, or depressed, and you start fucking drinking Busch Light and smoking meth.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, whatever
meth
floats
is
your
not
boat.
expensive, I guess, or
I don't know, man.
Oh, you were heroin, not.
I mean, no, I did everything.
Yeah.
For sure. For a while, I was doing everything. Like, if you could fucking put it in, like, if you could dissolve it in water and inject it, I was probably doing it. Yeah. It was a good time. I mean, not really. It wasn't a good time. I thought it was a good time at the time until it wasn't a good time.
Hey, man, drastic change of subject here, but do you still play music? I mean, I see your guitars around here. But
Yeah. No, I've been trying to play more lately. It's hard finding the time, but I'll sit down for a little bit every night and play a little bit. I just got this fucking multi-effects pedal over here. It's pretty dope. I've been playing with that. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
It was an impulse buy. I walked in Blues Angel Music, and I was there to buy like $20 worth of shit. I saw it, and I was like, "How much is that?" They're like, "Blah blah blah." I was like, "Sell it to me before I change my fucking mind, because I'm about to do it in like 20 seconds. I'm not gonna buy it. So get it out of the case and ring it up now,
All right.
or I'm not gonna buy it."
At least like you're honest with yourself while you were being impulsive. That takes a level of insight that I don't know that I have.
I earned that thing, man. I've been wanting to fucking start playing some music again pretty recently, and
well, I remember I was for a short period of time down at one of the bars downtown. I was doing a thing where I would have a documentary sandwiched in between music acts, and you remember you were one of those. Yeah. And I think the documentary was like remembering to turn the lights off. It's some environmental thing, and looking back at it, it's like, what was I thinking? Nobody wants to watch a movie at a bar while like in between like music. Like it's not a concept. Well, Pensacola certainly didn't like it because it only lasted for a couple months.
Pensacola doesn't like fucking much, man. These people don't like anything.
I tried, man.
Of course they're not given a whole lot to like either. They're pretty confined as to what's available to us, especially now. Fuck, I mean, nothing now.
Well, that's true, but I mean, there's a burgeoning and very rich music and art scene around here. There really is, but
there always has been.
There's a limit, and the venues are limited. I mean, Chizuko just shut their doors for good. Well, actually, I think they're relocating, but still.
Yeah. I'm not. Do you know where they're moving to?
I don't, but that was such a prime spot.
I saw that article. Yeah, it is a good spot. Right there in the Belmont de Villiers area. Yeah. I really like Dwarf Chicken. Shout out to Dwarf Chicken. That shit's amazing.
I see it all the time. I've never been.
If you want fried chicken at 3:00 in the morning, Dwarf Chicken on de Villiers. It's delicious.
Look,
they did not pay for that. That's.
I was just gonna say, if you need some sponsors, to just send them that clip, like Dwarf's Chicken. You want some chicken at 3:00? I mean, like who wouldn't pay for that sponsor?
Look, man. I don't know anywhere else you can get fucking fried chicken at 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
I'm generally not up at 3:00 in the morning. Like, unless I'm waking up at 3:00 in the morning these days, because my Night Stalker days, my Richard Ramirez days are over. I don't listen to AC/DC anymore either.
I never did, man. I'm one of the few who can't stand them.
I can't stand him either. It was just a Richard Ramirez joke.
Oh, I gotcha.
He would listen to AC/DC as he slayed his victims.
Dirty deeds done dirt cheap
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? Have you? I can't remember the guy's name. I can never remember this guy's name, but he wrote that book about Manson that just came out about his connections with the CIA or his like supposed connections.
Oh, didn't they fill him with LSD?
Oh yeah, he was supposedly part of MK Ultra.
Yeah,
that's weird. I'd like to look more into that. I mean, it seems completely likely. Like, the dude kept getting in trouble. Like, he just gotten out of prison. He was on parole, kept getting in trouble, and they kept just like, oh, let him go. It's above my pay grade.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy's an icon for all the wrong reasons, of course, but yeah, I know very little about him.
The guy was trying to start a fucking race war. Let's be realistic.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Helter Skelter was. He's like, I'm gonna start the race war, man. Down with the black man. It's gonna be a war.
Oh, jeez. You'd think he'd be alive today. Where's the Charles Manson now?
He's probably in the cabinet somewhere.
Yeah.
He's some. Sure, there's some fucking Manson-like sociopath working for Trump somewhere.
Gave him a job.
Or Biden. Who knows? I don't trust politicians in general. I don't think they have our best interest in mind.
I don't either. And it's I was
like across the board, like even like local politicians, like I don't think they have our best interest in mind.
People who are driven to those sorts of
they've got to be like slightly psychopathic or sociopathic.
I mean,
right?
To believe that you can maintain and deal with that much power in a healthy way, you have to be a bit of a megalomaniac.
Just to think that like I can make a difference. If I'm the president, I can change things. Like, man, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Like, how can you change things? You know what I'm saying? Like to just have that like delusion of grandeur sense of yourself. Like, I'm the fucking answer.
Mm-hmm. You know? Well, we've given too much power to the executive branch over the years, and
for sure.
When your guy is in office, it's okay, but when the next guy comes around, we tend to forget that it like goes from president to president. It's not just giving my guy the power; it's giving all the other ones the future.
Look, man, left wing, right wing, same fucking bird, and birds are lizards. So what I'm saying is the lizard people are controlling everything.
David Icke, everybody.
David. Oh, that guy's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy David Icke.
Yeah, I know about him like in the peripheral. I don't.
Oh, you should latch on to him for a minute.
No, it's okay.
Go down that rabbit hole. Just so you know.
Look, man, Alex Jones is enough. Okay, I can't go any deeper.
I love Alex Jones too, despite all his crazy shit.
Is he really a character, you think, or does he believe the stuff that he says?
I don't know, but what I do know is that like. A lot of people like to discredit Alex Jones because he says some crazy off the wall shit sometimes. Like the whole Sandy Hook thing that he said was just bananas.
Wow,
but like, there's a lot of shit that he says that like, if you look into it a little bit, like has fucking truth behind it. Like, ooh.
Well, that's the thing with conspiracy theories is that they usually have a little bit of truth behind it, which makes them seem legit.
Yeah, I hate the term conspiracy theory.
I know. I do too.
Just because conspiracy means like. Two or more people planning to do something like it's not everything's a fucking conspiracy. We conspired to do this podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, language does what it does, and it has a new meaning now.
Yeah, it does. Conspiracy theory. That was a CIA coined term to describe people that were investigating the JFK assassination. People that were questioning the JFK assassination were dubbed conspiracy theorists by the CIA.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we all know the CIA fucking took out JFK.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I'm ignorant on that. I don't know.
I'm like 99.9% sure.
Really?
I mean, just from what I've read and heard and, like, just the documents I've seen, like, yeah, I'm fairly sure. Like, yeah, Johnson and the CIA plotted. But, that's just what I'm guessing. I don't know. I think. I'm speculating. It's pure speculation.
But what's the point, though? What?
What was the point? I don't remember the fucking point.
No, I mean, of killing him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that it was the Vietnam. I believe it was Vietnam. When they were moving into Vietnam.
Oh, because Johnson came after. Yeah,
right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Stay in school, everybody. That way you won't sound like an idiot on a podcast.
Yeah, you won't sound like me. Like if I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a fucking history major. Fucking, I don't remember shit. I just parrot shit. Just fucking hear other people. I listen to David Icke and say what he says. Not really. I don't listen to David Icke. I read David Icke.
You're a purist.
Yeah, I like the feel of the paper.
The smell of the Ickeness that comes from the book.
The lizard skin fucking binding.
Can you make leather out of? No, you can't. I mean,
you got like alligator boots and snake boots
sure,
for sure. You can make a fucking lizard skin fucking David Icke Bible.
Yeah.
It would have to be some sort of like Joseph Smith type like golden tablet.
Oh yes, yeah.
Except lizard skin.
What was that called? The seer stone? No, it was the, what's that thing called?
Stay at school, kids.
Yeah.
Or at least study more theology.
Yeah. Don't be a Mormon. Or be a Mormon if it works for you.
Hey, if that's your thing
to say.
I mean, not for you, for other people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Mormon, I doubt many Mormons are listening to this show.
What if like all of your listenership was
what if they're all Mormons? Like Utah just fucking Utah's freaking out.
You're on billboards up in Utah, and you just
right. Like who knew I had this huge underground following in Salt Lake City,
right? Or the only people who listen to your podcast or
it's like 3 guys in a trailer from Provo.
Or no, I was thinking like what do they call it when they oh my gosh, what's it? They don't believe in technology. They
like Mennonites,
or like the Amish people when they get their like 6 months of leave or whatever, and like
what is
they
that?
just
Rumspringer.
Yeah, like that's your target audience. It's those dudes.
It's like that. Was that it? Fucking what was it? Big Lebowski. How you gonna get him back on the farm once they seen Carl Hungus? Like, a lot of those Rumspringer kids don't ever come back. They're like, fuck that.
Of all the quotes from the Big Lebowski, that's not one that you hear very often. It's probably a first for me, actually.
It's definitely the first time I've said it on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the last, though. Maybe it should be a recurring thing. Like when, like in Chappelle's show, when that dude Carl used to come in and do the robot.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite things in life. I used to fucking be like, yes, show. Man, I was listening to Rick James at work earlier today. It was awesome. That and the Gap Band. I was listening to You Dropped a Bomb on Me.
Oh, wow.
I was cutting it up in the fucking kitchen, man.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, it's nice because I work in the back of the house. Like I'm not even on the line, so like nobody's back there except for me and the other prep cooks. So we just fucking blast that shit and fucking.
That's way different than not from my kitchen experience. Like it's usually like metal or gangster rap, and where like people just want to kill. Just like they're just ready to murder.
Oh no, we do that too. Like I said, Wu-Tang is which isn't gangster rap,
right? But it's
in heavy rotation.
It's in your face, sort of.
It's in heavy rotation up there, and some other stuff. I was listening to Phantomos today.
Yeah. Tomahawk too.
Yeah. Well, no Tomahawk today, but I was listening. They had never heard Phantomos, and I was like, check this out. Because we were talking about, it started talking about Tool because, like, you know,
Here we go again.
the way they like, you know, their writing style is just so it's not verse, chorus, verse, you know what I'm saying? Sure, like, and the syncopation and like the.
See, but Tool fans will latch onto that. So, like, this is why they like, but there's so many other bands that aren't verse, chorus, verse. They're just,
right.
Not on the radio.
Well, see, then, like, because of that, we started talking about Mars Volta. And then, like,
I was listening to them today, actually.
And then that led to talking about Phantomos, and I was like, you've never heard Phantomos? Because we were talking about it being like organized disorganization, and I was like, you got to hear Phantomos. Yeah. So I played the first album, Menza El Mundo, and he was like, what the fuck am I listening to? I was like, just you'll get into it. He's like, how did they even write this shit? I was like, I don't fucking have any idea. That's the question. That's the real question. How do they write this shit? I don't know. It's so weird. It's just weird fucking music.
So here's a Tool Mike Patton connection. Did you see like years ago when Tomahawk opened for Tool?
I wasn't there, but I heard they got booed off stage.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I mean to be a Tool fan and see them in like.
That's why I don't like Tool fans. Fuck you. Hey, you know what? Fuck you, Tool fans. I like Tool too, but you guys got to stop. Calm down. We all know Anima's a great album.
It truly is. So, you know, I told a few people that I was going to be on this podcast. Like, oh, what are you going to talk about? I was like, well, it's free flow, sort of free form conversation. These are the topics he likes to cover, but, you know, we're just going to do whatever. Did not say Tool once. And like, oh, I'm going to go talk about Tool. Oh, right.
They're a good band,
you know,
but there's several other good bands out there too.
Yes,
I mean, don't limit yourself to Tool. For whoever's listening, that I'm not a big Led Zeppelin fan. I don't know how that's relevant, but
anyway, I've got to go. I love Led Zeppelin.
I enjoy them, but like I would probably rather listen to the Stones if I had to pick between the two.
Oh, dude. Okay, this might be one of the first things we've ever disagreed on. I hate the Rolling Stones.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. So Painted Black's a good song.
Well, like the early Stones was good. Like, let's be realistic. At least they're not Aerosmith.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We can definitely.
It's like fucking mom rock. I feel like I need to be dating some chick with fucking like jerry curled hair and high waisted jeans when I hear an Aerosmith song. Yeah, right. Driving a Camaro and shit.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel like I should be
and
Kid
it's
Rock.
Always 1992. So
better, more like 77. Let's get like the good at like Toys in the Attic Aerosmith.
Well, what I was gonna say is
not big ones.
No, big ones. Their first out, like they had some good riffs on it, but like it's now it's
once Steven Tyler blew his fucking voice out, it was over for me. You know what I mean? I mean, it was always over for me because I was never really. I actually saw Aerosmith in concert when I was like 15 at the Civic Center. It wasn't a bad show, but I was 15.
Yeah,
they're all good shows.
See, I wasn't listening to that when I was 15.
Yeah, my mom bought me tickets.
Oh, okay.
She went with me. You know, like I was a kid.
My dad had me.
She wanted. So like I said, it's mom rock. My mom wanted to go. So she was like, "Want to go see Aerosmith?" I was going to say no, but she. On the upside, when I was in like '92, my mom did take me to see Metallica, which was like fucking amazing. It was actually that tour they did with Guns N' Roses and Faith No More.
Oh man!
So I saw Guns N' Roses, Faith No More, and Metallica at the fucking Superdome in New Orleans. Fucking amazing. Wow. I was like 11 years old.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was mind blowing.
I saw Metallica at Lollapalooza with Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, 96.
Yeah,
I was there.
Dude. Yeah.
I was there. Me and Nathan Burns.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were there together. Yeah. That was a fun trip. We met this dude while we were walking around the parking garage because like my mom and my stepdad at the time, they went off and we're doing New Orleans stuff, and we were just hanging out. And they were like, "If you go out and do whatever, just be safe." And I was like, "Okay, fuck, we're 15, fuck it." So we were walking around the parking garage. We ran into this dude smoking a joint. We're like, "Hey, can we smoke with you?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." And we started bullshitting with him, and he turned out to be this bouncer from the Artist Cafe on Iberville. And he was like, "Yeah, y'all come down there, man. I'll get you in." And like, so we were like, "Fuck it." So we went down there. It took us a minute to find, but we got down there and like he got us in. We're sitting there. It's my first time in a strip club ever. We're sitting there ordering fucking Budweisers and drinking fucking beer at the strip club, fucking watching strippers and shit. And then there's this really drunk guy. I think it was his birthday, but he like starts looking at Nathan and like, that drunk fucking like, "I'm going to fight you" shit. Yeah. And like, I'll never forget this in my life. He said this shit. He was like, "I will bite your face off to the ends of the earth." And me and Nathan were like, the fuck did this dude
like
just
Eric Andre humor?
Dude, it was the weirdest shit in the world. We're 15, like we're in fucking drinking Budweiser, just smoked a joint, like we're a little lit, and this dude's threatening to bite Nathan's face off to the ends of the earth. Which I still don't understand the context of. I don't see how.
So he's gonna go to one hemisphere and bite half of it, and then go to the.
I wonder if he has to like unhinge his jaw like a snake to do that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out the semantics.
Drug, right?
Been trying to figure out the semantics of that. No, he wasn't. No, this was pure alcohol. He was fucking definitely in there. He probably did not have a good morning the next day. Just judging by his demeanor that evening.
So I have a story about the Lollapalooza, and it's not nearly as entertaining as yours, but just so I went with my buddy David, and his dad was a cop at the time. Okay, and obviously did not know that we like to partake in marijuana at the time. So we got there, and as fast as we could. You
were like 15. How could you not know? And all 15-year-olds smoked weed. I thought it was just a thing.
We got away from him pretty quickly, and we found somebody with a blunt, smoked whatever. But so do you remember those little plastic bongs that had they're like green and like had an alien on it? You could find them anywhere. So I thought I was hot shit. It's like, oh, I've got $10, I can buy one. So not even thinking like I'm gonna go home, 3-hour drive, stone with my friend's dad who's a cop. With this bong.
Toting a fucking bong.
Yeah, so I had it underneath my shirt, and of course, like we stopped, I had to go piss, and like I had to like still keep it there. Yeah, so.
Did you not bring a bag with you?
I did not, man. we weren't staying overnight or anything like that. It was just we're going to go to the show and then come back.
Day trip in Lollapalooza. That's a weird choice.
That is what we did. Yeah, I didn't make any choices in that situation except to buy a bong like an idiot.
Did you get it back?
No, well, he never found out.
Okay,
I was just a nervous wreck the whole time.
That's what I was wondering, if you got busted and called out for it. Oh, that's cool. So hey, it was not all for naught.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I bet that bong saw a lot of use after that.
Yeah.
Did you tell that story a lot when you used the bong? Like,
and it was a better story, to be honest with you, back in the day. It was a better story.
I thought it was pertinent because it was at the time.
Yeah.
It was in the moment. That shit doesn't exist anymore. So that bong probably doesn't exist anymore.
No, yeah. Well, it was plastic, so it still exists.
No, yeah. It's not biodegraded yet. Yeah. It's in a landfill somewhere. Yeah. Probably Perdido.
Yeah. Speaking of, Earth Day Pensacola next year, April, be there.
Yeah, you got,
if the pandemic doesn't screw everything up.
Yeah, you got fucked out of this year.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we rescheduled it and then canceled it outright.
Yeah, that sucks. What are your plans for this coming year?
Well, the plans for this coming year, I mean, we usually focus on sustainability because I think that's the most pressing issue. But I don't know. I'm not director anymore. I'm a vendor coordinator. I was a director for 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
And so I stepped down, and it's very time consuming.
Right. Who's handling it now?
Tiffany Miller. Shout out Tiffany.
I know.
Yeah.
Cool. So that'd be fun. Are you guys gonna do like just same old shit or like any?
Hopefully not. Hopefully we can bring in new blood. Tiffany is maybe we'll have some new stuff.
Big thanks to Eric St. Pierre, and due to some sort of technical error, I lost the last 5 minutes of this interview. It wasn't too much more other than us saying goodbye to each other and Eric dropping his information on his website, which if you did want to get in touch with Eric about any of his artwork or anything of that nature, he can be reached at espart.net. That's espart.net. Anyway, thank you for listening. This has been Dharma Junkie. I'm Justin Otto. Please go rate and review, and then don't base your entire opinion off of this episode, or at least not the end of it, because somehow that got fucked up, and I'm not sure how. That hasn't happened to me yet. It was bound to happen. It's a learning experience. Not to say I'm not irritated by it, because I am. I'm pretty mad, but I'll get over it. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.
The natural state of the brain is chaos. Chaos is beautiful.